Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Garhwale Hi-Tech Films Limited Q1 FY22 earnings conference call. As a reminder, all participants will be in the listen-only mode. There will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during this conference call, you may signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Sneh Kumar Purohit. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good evening everyone, and a warm welcome to you all. I'm Sneh Kumar Purohit from Blue Lotus Communications. We represent the investor relations for Garhwale Hi-Tech Films Limited. On behalf of the company, I would like to thank you all for participating in the company's earnings conference call for Q1 FY22. Before we begin, I would like to mention a short cautionary statement. Some of the statements made in today's con call may be forward-looking in nature. Such forward-looking statements are subject to risks and uncertainties, which could cause actual results to differ from those anticipated. Such statements are based on management beliefs as well as assumptions made by and information currently available to the management. Audiences are cautioned not to place any undue reliance on these forward-looking statements in making any investment decisions. The purpose of today's earnings conference call is purely to educate and bring awareness about the company's fundamental business and quarter under review. I would now like to introduce you to the company management participating with us in today's earnings conference call. We have with us Mr. C.J. Pathak, Full-Time Director, Mr. Pradeep Mehta, CFO, Mr. Krishnan, Director Sales, Mr. Avnish Srivastav, Company Secretary, and Mr. N. Chandramouli, CEO of Blue Lotus Communications. We are going to start with the overview of the company's performance for the Q1 FY22. With that, we can switch over to the Q&A session. Thank you, and over to you, Pathak, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Sneh Kumar. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to welcome you to the Q1 FY22 earnings conference call of Garhwale Hi-Tech Films Limited. I hope all of you are keeping safe and healthy. With having registered our highest ever revenue in financial year 21 and delivering a fifth consistent year of strong bottom line growth, I am delighted to report that we have had another healthy quarter performance with a similar momentum. The company witnessed a healthy demand across most products and we continued to operate at 100% capacity. Credit rating upgrade. About credit rating upgrade, CARE Ratings Limited, a leading credit rating agency in India, has recently upgraded the long-term bank facilities rating of Garhwale Hi-Tech Films Limited to A+ stable and reaffirmed the credit rating of short-term bank facilities as CARE A1. I would like to update you on PPF. We are making PPF aggressively through our existing network of distributors and dealers in different markets. The product has now been tested and orders have started flowing in and is gaining acceptance in diverse geographies. We reach break-even, as I even informed earlier also, in the last quarter, and we are targeting the 40% capacity utilization in the current fiscal year, which is planned, and we are on the same path. About NSE listing update, NSE listing may take a while as per amended NSE direct listing criteria. A cooling period of 2 months is to be observed from the date of the security has come out of trade to trade category or any other surveillance action by other exchanges when the security has been actively listed. We are actively monitoring the ASM status as we are in ASM LT stage 4. Now I hand it over to Mr. Pradeep Mehta, our CFO, to give the financial highlights. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, and good evening to each one of you. I will now give a brief overview of the financial performance of the company. On consolidated basis for Q1 FY22, the company registered total income of rupees 312.41 crore, which is up by 82.4% on YOY basis. Profit after tax at rupees 35.83 crore, up by 163% on YOY basis. EPS of rupees 15.42, up by 163% YOY basis. Export contributed almost 81.5% to sales, and value-added films contributed 80.4% to sales. EBITDA margin increased by 333 basis points year-on-year basis from 18.2% in Q1 FY21 to 21.6% in Q1 FY22. Also, the company has achieved the net profit margin of 11.7% in the last quarter on consolidated basis. Company witnessed increase in EBITDA margin due to increase in revenue, including value-added products. Thank you all. With this, we can now open the floor to the question and answer session.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on your touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Anyone who has a question at this time may press star and 1 on your phone. We have the first question from the line of Sudhir Beda from Right Time Consultancy. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir, and hearty congratulations on super set of numbers, sir. And particularly our value-added product shares have gone up to 80%, and our export stands at 81%. So, congrats to entire team.
Thank you.
Sir, I have a couple of questions. First question, I just wanted to understand the demand outlook in Europe, North America, and Asia region. Is there a case of demand outstripping the supply for some of our products? That is my first question.
Yeah, Mr. Krishnan, would you like to take this? Hello?
Yes, Mr. Krishnan, we are unable to hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. This is Krishnan here. The demand for our product continues to be good, and in spite of COVID in some of the regions, our product seems to find a good market, especially the window films. And yes, some of our products, the demand is far higher than what we are able to produce, primarily in the window film business. And in the case of the industrial products, we are able to meet the demand which is in the market. Our plant runs to full capacity, as was mentioned in the opening address.
Great, sir. My second question is, as you have stated to my question only, that rise in the commodity prices have been passed on partially to Q1, and then it will be passed on fully in Q2. So we have seen that your margin has gone up from 18 to 20%. But when we will reach the peak margin of around 25%, which we have observed in the last, Q2 and Q3?
Yeah, Mr. Pathak?
Yeah. We have, as mentioned earlier to your question, we have started passing on the prices to the customer in last quarter, and this quarter we have passed on the prices, and that will continue for the rest in the next quarter also, because some of the long-term contracts are getting renewed in the next quarter, so that will be done next quarter, but it will be passed on.
So, shall we reach, peak margin of say 25%, which we have seen in last Q2 and Q3?
It's difficult to commit at this point of time the 25% exactly as such, but there will be a good margin. Yeah.
So, but in the range of that sort of range, that we will be able to do.
Yeah, that is we are targeting.
Yes. Thanks, sir. Thanks for the opportunity, and good luck.
Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Ayush Agarwal from Mittal Analytics. Please go ahead.
So thank you for the opportunity and congratulations on a great set of numbers. Sir, I have other different questions than on our current scenario. I mean, I was going through the past annual reports and I learned about the company's difficult task at the turn of this century due to a lot of industry-related issues. We had back then put up a DMT plant under a subsidiary Garware Chemicals Limited. That company was declared sick and went through restructuring. And sometime later, Garware Polyester took over the assets and bought shares from other stakeholders as well. And we reclassified the entire investment made in Garware Chemicals. We even took 40-45 crore goodwill on the books. The very next year, we took an impairment of those assets and the goodwill was disposed of. So I have two questions on this. The first is, what really happened to the manufacturing unit of Garware Chemicals and what is the current status?
Yeah, in Garware Chemical, the DMT plant, as you know, the technology became obsolete. With the PTA was available, it was oversupply situation and the prices were quite low compared to DMT. DMT is phased out world over. Thereafter, we have tried that plant for biodiesel. But biodiesel, because of the feedstock, we were using palm fatty acid distillate, which is available in abundance in Malaysia, Indonesia, and these countries. And there was a condition for sale to the government only, and the government prices were not that time when we have tried. The prices were not economical to run the plant, so that product was not viable. Quality-wise and quantity-wise, it was quite economical and feasible, but because of prices, we couldn't run that, and we had to close that plant. We have used some of the usable equipment in some other plants, and unusable equipment will be sold out in due course of time.
Right. Thank you for the clarification. My second question, sir, is there's a general confusion among the investors regarding our patent for dyed polyester film. So can you please help us understand what the patent really is? How does it help our company? How crucial is this patent? And in what stage of manufacturing process is this used? Because how does this patent give us an edge over other sun-controlled film manufacturers?
Yeah, about the patent validity is 20 years, which is expired in 2020. We have lost another patent, which is latest innovation thereafter compared to earlier one. And this is improved technology which we are using now. Dyed film is used in most of the window film application, because as you all are aware that there are two manufacturers, one is Eastman and another is Garware. So it is a in-house developed technology for dyeing the polyester, and the same technology we are using and improving from time to time to increase the life of the film. So
how does it give us an edge over other manufacturers? I mean, they don't have this patent, so they can't use it, or how is it done?
No, these, though we are not selling to others because we have a capacity constraint, but Eastman, who is another manufacturer, is having adequate capacity, and they are selling the dyed polyester film to the window film manufacturers.
So all the manufacturers like CA and Adico would be buying from them then?
Yeah, they are buying from them.
Okay, I'll come back in this. Thank you for answering my question.
Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, if you wish to ask a question, you may press star and 1 on your touchtone telephone. We take the next question from the line of Archit Sanchet from FinStep. Please go ahead.
Hello. Yeah, hi. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, hi. So, my question was regarding the processing charges that we've been paying to Garware Hi-Tech. So, can you please tell what are we getting processed there? And also, I would like to understand like the reason for the rise in payment of the processing charges. with the rise in revenues. On a side note, I could notice that the processing charges were only around 1 to 1.5 crores in FY15 and 14. If my understanding is correct, then we had a good amount of business from Sun Control in those 2 years as well. But we did not pay processing charges then. I would appreciate if you could please comment on this. Thank you.
Yeah, processing charges is for some of the product we are getting manufactured, which is intermediary product from the another company of Mr. Garware, and that is at arm's length prices. So the requirement, as the requirement increases and there is a technology which is involved, we do not want it to make that technology known to many people outside, and they have a capacity. So we are using that capacity at arm's length price and using that. And as the requirement of film is increasing, as we are running at 100% capacity and 100% plus capacity, so we are utilizing that.
Okay. And could you please also focus on the reason why we didn't pay it in FY14 or 15?
Due to
What is that?
in 2014-15, there was arrangement of sale purchase transaction. We used to buy a dyed film and they used to supply. So it was considered under the raw material cost.
Okay. Thank you so much for clearing that.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have the next question from the line of Ayush Agarwal. Please go ahead. The line got disconnected. We move to the next question from the line of Navjeet Singh. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. So the question I wanted to ask is, we are talking about the window films and the paint production films, which we are going to be, the revenue that is going to be generated, that will be incremental, 300 crores each, correct? So, my assumption is
23.
Yes. So each quarter we are going to, by doing this after we complete it, so each quarter we are going to generate around 75 crores, roughly. This is my assumption. Am I correct?
You see, we are, as I said, we are utilizing the capacity. Capacity utilization will improve because it's a product which requires a lot of systematic efforts like training the applicators, etc. That is in progress in various parts of the world. So that will materialize, and we are hopeful that in 2 years' time the capacity we will be able to utilize.
After full utilization of capacity, so it is going to generate yearly revenue of
Right.
Like so 75 crores roughly each quarter, correct?
Yeah, that's right, and it will be on a staggered manner.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question at this time may press star and 1 on your touchtone telephone. We have the next question from the line of Sudhir Bera. Please go ahead.
Sure, thanks for the opportunity. I just wanted to understand how we are going to deal with the land. We are in the process of selling, or how it is?
You see, the management is thinking on that, and once the concrete plan, when the management decides, that will be declared after following the due process. So some thinking is going on that. So definitely we will come back on that.
Great. That will help. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone who wishes to ask a question at this time, please press star and 1 on your touchtone telephone. We have the next question from the line of Ashish Kancholia. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir, and congratulations on a very good set of numbers.
Thank you.
My question is basically, would you be investing substantial amounts of money into marketing our brand, Global Films, in the US, in terms of actually kind of building a consumer awareness for it? At the current point of time in our business seems to be more of a business-to-business model.
Yeah.
So do you, have this in your brand roadmap going forward?
Yes, I would like Mr. Krishnan to take on this question. And if you are on the line,
yes.
Otherwise, I will.
Yeah. We are investing on the brand, and we already have plans. We have, in fact, appointed an exclusive person for that in US, and we have also taken on people for this activity. And this is an ongoing process. But we are investing quite heavily into the brand in the US market.
So this will be in the Global Films Global Films branding? Okay.
That is correct. We are promoting only the global brand in the US.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is can you share the quantum of investment that we have done in FY21, that is last year, and this year what we are planning to invest?
See, specifically, we can't share this because it is detrimental, or this information will also flow to competition. We will not be able to share market to market, but certainly that is our intention, and that's the action also on ground.
Okay. And in terms of the various product benchmarking studies, how does our product compare with with the market leaders in the space? And are there any publicly kind of studies where our brand has been also compared with the rest of them? Can you share them? Can you share the studies with us?
We see, unfortunately, there is no syndicated study which is available for these products, both the window film and the PPF, and therefore there is no comparative study in terms of the product. But what we have done is we have benchmarked our product, the PPF, with the others in the market, and predominantly the US brands which are available, which are 3M, Lumar, Expel, etc. And our product compares with the best in the market in terms of on several parameters, in terms of performance, in terms of the ease of application, as also in terms of durability, non-yellowing. So various factors we look at. Against all of that, we compare with the best in the market.
In fact, if I may just add, there was a recent contest called the Tint Off, which is basically the tinters contest where almost close to about 97 different products are tested out. Maybe you could elaborate on that, Mr.
Yeah. So we had this Tint Off is an annual feature. This is for the window film. So first I spoke about the PPF. This one is for the window film, where all the global manufacturers participate, and we exhibit our products, and customers from all over the world do visit that. This was held at Orlando, and last month. Our product, along with others, were used, and these tinters applied on 96 cars, in fact. So there were 96 competitors. 6 of them chose to, everybody is free to use any product. So 6 of them chose to use our product, and out of that we won the silver medal. So out of 96 competitors, we won the silver medal, or we were the second best out of that. So that speaks volumes in terms of our product, and the product is judged in terms of the ease of application, the speed in which you are able to apply, and the quality of the product. So that's how we stand in the US market.
Oh, that's great to hear, sir. Really nice to hear such a wonderful competitiveness of our product. Also, I just wanted to ask you, sir, when you mentioned that our PPF film is pretty, up there with the best. So when it gets scratched, does it heal by itself, or you have to pour hot water over it to kind of make the scratches go away?
It has self-healing properties, so it heals by itself.
By itself, is it? We don't have to, there's no hot water needed to be poured over it?
No.
In fact, it does not damage. If I may add, what it means is it does not show the damage at all. Self-healing implies that, because whenever a small little, stone or something brushes against it, it probably will cause the abrasion, but over here, because of self-healing, it doesn't even cause it.
No, it does cause.
It's auto self-healing.
It is auto self-healing, meaning Yeah. So there is a, if you apply a brush or if you apply any rub, the rough surface, it rubs against it. There
Yes.
is a mark, but it heals. It is given little time, it heals automatically.
Okay, given time, it heals automatically,
That
right,
is
sir?
correct. That is correct.
Okay. And sir, how many channel partners do we have in India for our PPF film? Because I understand that this is an up and coming market in India as well.
That's correct. We have several channel partners all across the country, roughly about 22 of them as of now. And that is growing. Every month, this number is increasing.
Okay. Sir, and my last question is basically one of the biggest problems that we are facing as consumers. I mean, this is a consumer problem that, we are not allowed to have colored films on our car anymore because of the law. So, are we allowed to put a transparent film which will allow 100% of the light to come through but cut out all the heat?
By law, no.
But as a consumer, do we have a product like this in the market or in the US market which allows the light to come in but keeps out the heat?
Even we have such kind of product which we market internationally.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is having a reality of almost 80% visible light transmission.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, very high heat reflecting films. So that is available. Product is available. Even the product is available for the front windshield, and that is also sold internationally. We have also recently come into that market. But in India, unfortunately, because of the court's verdict, that is banned. So India, it is not allowed.
Okay, so 80% of the light it lets through, and how much of the heat does it block? Infrared heat, how much does it block?
There are different versions anywhere from 55% to 70-80%.
Okay.
So different heat absorption and reflection. Different products are there in the light range.
Okay. Got it, sir. Thank you very much, sir, and all the very best. Looking forward to seeing our global brand emerge as one of the more popular consumer choices in the West. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is in the line of Ayush Agarwal. Please go ahead.
So sorry, I got dropped off. Thank you for the opportunity again. So, sir, I was looking at our FY21 sum control numbers. We did around 450 crores revenue, if I'm not mistaken, and we have a capacity of around 2,400 lakh square feet capacity. So, roughly, if I can say, our sum control business, we get a realization of 19 rupees. I was looking at one of our distributors in the US, their website. They have a really good website where the tinters and other retailers can order window film from. So I was looking at various categories of window film like QDP ceramic, HP charcoal, QDP, and then quick dry. So I think quick dry is the least expensive and QDP ceramic is the most expensive. So right now, since we have 18-19 rupees realization, is it fair to assume that if QDP ceramic or HP charcoal starts selling more, this realization can grow further and growth can also come from realization?
Yeah, all the high-end products are growing in US market. That is all IR films, which absorb the IR radiation. So the HP is secondary, but IR is a top-class films, and that is growing in the US market.
Which one?
IR. Infrared reflection.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So IR absorption films which are growing in the international market.
Right. Is this the QDP ceramic one?
Yeah, QDP is also growing. QDP is a hot selling item for us in the US market.
QDP, IR, HP, all are growing.
Right. And so with this growth, realization can also grow, right?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, thank you. And the second question, sir, is on our PPF, since we already have an established network, What kind of marketing activities are we taking for PPF? Did we have some special showcase in Tintoff conference? And what other steps are we taking apart from mentioned several times that we have hired a person there and we have set up a team, but on ground activities, if you can elaborate on that, that would be really helpful.
Yeah, on the PPF also, we have started marketing activities. We advertise in the PPF magazine. We also are in touch with all the tinters. We have tinters training programs in different markets. And what we do is we collect a group of tinters and they are trained on how to use our product. And we also give them samples, we give them training, we show them the benefits, how are we better as compared to competition. We have also developed several videos which are sent across to customers. Some of them are also uploaded on YouTube. You can have a look at that. We have also uploaded that in some of our sites. Also, what we have done is what is known as a virtual showroom. The virtual showroom is something that customers visit and they can get all information about our products in the showroom. So all the products that we manufacture, whether it is PPF, window film, as also our industrial products, all of them they can get information. We encourage people through mailers, etc., to log on to our site or go over to the virtual showroom. And many of them do log on and they call us up also in terms of clarification. In addition, like in Tintoff also, we did display our PPF and we also showed our product to customers in terms of the usage or how the product performs vis-a-vis competition. So this is a continuous process in terms of marketing, and we are developing several such marketing activities, and this is an ongoing process through the year.
Right. That's really good to know. So these efforts should bear results too. So my next question, when I went to the Tintoff website, I could see that there was a sponsor called Tintwiz, and I went to Tintwiz website, and it is a pretty nice tool for the tinters out there, and I think they're a young company which is helping tinters out there to expand their business and manage their inventory and other things. So, do we have some plans to encourage our tinters to use such tools, or somehow buy stake in these companies which can help with more tinter penetration and build a relationship with them directly?
As I said, we are in touch with the tinter community, and we are in touch with almost 4,000 of them, and that is continuously growing from time to time. So we have a plan of penetrating them as we go forward.
Right. All right. Thank you for answering the question.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ashish Kanjolia. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the follow-up opportunity, sir. I just wanted to ask if we put this PPF film on our car, and then how long does it last on the car? And what happens to the original paint of the car when we have to take this film off and put another replacement PPF film after, I don't know how many years?
The PPF can continue to exist for at least 5 years. There should be no problem. In fact, we give a global warranty in the case of the global brand for 10 years in the international markets. When you remove the product after, say, 10 years, nothing will happen to the paint. In fact, your car will look brand new, because if you have put the PPF immediately at the time of purchase itself, then it will look brand new. But if it is put after a period of time, say a year or two, then whatever is the fading that has occurred, that will continue to be there. Nothing can be done. But otherwise, you will realize a much better price for the car, because the new customer will see the brand new car that you are selling.
So at the time of resale, you can just remove the film and sell the car without the film so that it looks brand new, is it?
Absolutely. That's exactly what people do. That's exactly it. Only word of caution is, if you have any part of the car which is painted outside after purchase for any reason, then that part, please do not put the PPF.
Otherwise, the paint will get peeled.
That is correct. Because the process used in the automobile or automotive companies are different from what they use when they repaint the car.
Okay. So repainted part cannot be filled.
Repainted part, there is a bit of a risk. But otherwise, if it is not repainted, it's the original paint, there is no problem at all.
Okay. And the entire car is kind of coated with the film or of it, or what's the typical practice?
The typical practice is areas which are accident prone, those are usually coated. So if it is a Merc or a BMW, roughly about 50 square feet, which covers the front and rear bumpers, parts of the fender, then the outer rear view mirrors. Some of those accident prone areas are covered by the PPF. But in many markets, they do cover the full car top to bottom, because they also have these bird droppings, etc., which are acidic, and that might cause a problem to the roof. So some customers do full car, but majority of the customers, I would say, do only part of the car.
A big market even in Europe, or only the US is the major market?
US is a big market. Middle East Europe also is a very large market. I would say second in size.
And the Middle East, because that's like a really...
Middle East also is fairly large.
Dust-prone area, right?
Yeah, but again, the issue is the market, the volume itself in terms of sale of cars, Middle East is lower as compared to Europe. So to that
Yeah, that's right. And we have presence in Europe or only the US, sir?
Yeah, we have presence in Europe. We have a big presence in Europe, Middle East and US, all the markets.
All the markets.
Would it be right that we are one of top 3 in both these markets, US and Europe?
That's correct.
Okay, got it, sir. Very well, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question at this time, please press star and 1 on your phone. Ladies and gentlemen, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star 1. We take the next question from the line of Vivek Gautam. Please go ahead.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, sir. There was an article saying the US market is being disrupted by one of our competitors, Xalpomic, who is bypassing the distributors and going directly to the painters or the denters. So how do we plan to tackle that, sir? And how big is that threat to us, sir?
It's not a threat to us. That is the business model that they have per se. It has got nothing to do. It is no threat to our business per se. Our business model is through a set of distributors, and these people are small players in the market who directly go to the tinters. But it has had no effect, or it doesn't make any difference to us.
And this is one of the bigger competitors for us, no? Or was it a small player? Disruptor, Xalpomic, I'm forgetting the exact name, sir, of the competition.
No, there are a couple of them who do go direct to but it doesn't impact the business per se.
This product is largely a tinter-based recommended product, largely.
Correct, sir. Correct, sir. So they are approaching directly the tinters, bypassing the distributors.
No. See, what happens is some of them do approach the tinters, but as Mr. Chandramouli explained to you, see, the market is, or the tinters have a loyalty towards brands. And in US, the brands dictate, there is a pull for the brand in the market. So their preference is important. So the tinter decides, which product to be put on the car. So he doesn't get influenced by these. Price-wise, they are not able to compare, or there's not big change, really, between us and them.
And, sir, I am a new entrant to the company, sir. Pardon me if I ask some old questions also. Our founder is almost 85 years age. Who is the second gen, and are they taking the interest in it, or What is the plan of the company like, sir?
Yes, our chairman is, though he is 85 years old, he is 24 hours, 365 days available to the company and virtually managing the company available. His presence is available and experience is available. Next generation is also in the business. They have decided their various areas in which keep rotating. He has 3 daughters. Each daughter is taking care of different areas, like the elder one, Miss Monica Garware. She is handling the production, finance, area portfolio. Second daughter, Miss Sarita Garware, she is handling the R&D, HR, and the third daughter is handling, Miss Sonia Garware is handling the international marketing. So these 3 daughters, and they keep rotating among themselves all these portfolios. They are all highly qualified, educated management graduates from triple majors from the international based schools, and they are very much involved into the business.
And sir, there are some old legacy issues or something, the legal expenses of 10 crore are there. Is there some sort of, every year it is being charged, it is a sort of some heavy litigation which we are indulging in, and there are some allegation regarding the related party transactions also, sir. You must be aware about it, and I am a new entrant to the company. If you can just highlight those things, sir.
Can you elaborate a little further?
Approximately what legal expenses, sir, in a year?
Legal expenses?
Yes, sir.
10 crores.
Yeah, that is what been told to me, sir. Is there very...
We'll have to check this and get back to you, because in our awareness it is not...
we are not aware of 10 crores.
We will get back to you if there is any such thing, but there is nothing in the financial statement that actually states this, or neither is it in any way valid, I think. Maybe in some confusion in the numbers, we can always clarify it offline should you.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Not an issue. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Hitesh. Please go ahead.
Hi. Thanks for the opportunity. In your opening comments, you did mention that the PPF segment has already attained a break-even last year. Could you just explain how do you say that? Because hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So just wanted to understand how is that being worked upon, because I believe the investments are still ongoing, right, with regard to training the painters and promoting this particular product and the brand. So how do you say that it's already hit a break even on this low utilization?
Yeah, we have already crossed the break even of PPF plant. So we have already reached I have clarified in the last your earning call itself. So we have crossed that.
No, just wanted to understand the basis of that, because I believe the fixed investment in promoting the product and the brand and expanding the reach, that would still be going on, right? So that would only increase as and when you get into more territories.
Gentlemen, this is Krishnan. What is being spoken is about the plant utilization and the break-even of the plant utilization. The promotion that we are doing of the product is an ongoing process. So that will continue to do, and that we will continue to do till we reach 100% utilization of the plant. So that has got nothing to do with break-even.
Okay, sure. That, you mean to say only at the gross level is where we would have hit the break-even then?
That is right. In terms of plant level, there is a break-even in terms of the cost, which is what we have achieved. In terms of the market, we will continue to keep spending money till such time that 100% of the capacity is utilized, and which we have said that will be achieved in 2 years' time.
Sure.
If I may just add, there's one advantage that JHFL has. That's in the terms of the tinters who do the sun control films for the windows are the same who also do the sun control. I mean the PPF line. So they already know us, and thereby the access is easier. Just as an added information.
Sure, got it. Thanks.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Kumar Ashish. Please go ahead.
Yes. I have just one question, sir. Sir, can we expect 20% top line growth in next 2 to 3 years?
Yes, that is the plan.
Okay. That's the plan.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ayush Agarwal. Please go ahead.
So thank you for the follow-up once again. Sir, I have one question regarding our upcoming CapEx for sun control. So in the last, investor call with a group of investors, the management mentioned that the upcoming facility is also fungible. So this 1800 lakh square feet capacity that we are doing, so my question is that, if we were to run that plant entirely for PPF, what could be the output in square feet terms?
You see, though it is, I mentioned in the last call that it is fungible, and you can take out multiple value-added products from the plant because the plant is having that kind of facility. But, it is not a one-to-one correlation because certain product requires a different type of processes because the plant is having all adequate facilities to process any kind of product which we are manufacturing, various value-added products. So, and PPF is also one of the, we have kept a facility we can make it. So, that plant can manufacture the equal amount of capacity what we have at present, but we will have to sacrifice on the window film side. So we will utilize that plant based on the demand for various products. And if we have more demand for PPF, we will use it for PPF. If we have more demand for various value-added window films, we will use more for that. So it is flexible, and that flexibility maintained in the plant.
This actually usually takes care of the market vagaries. I mean, because there are certain periods in which certain things sell more. For example, when the summer starts, then the sun control film definitely sells more, and the like.
Absolutely. So yeah, that is what I wanted to understand. So we can, right now we have under 300 lakh square feet capacity of PPF. So similar amounts can be manufactured from the new capacity if we were to run, PPF on it.
Certainly that can be manufactured or even more.
All right. Yeah, that was my question. Thank you. So second question is, we see a huge other comprehensive income in our P&L for this quarter and also for the entire year last year. So if you can clarify what that is for.
So there is an investment in Garhwale Technical Fiber, and that the share price has gone up of that investment, and that is a market value.
All right. So this is all through that.
Right.
Okay. Thank you. That's it from me. Thank you for the question.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Shashank. Please go ahead.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you for giving the opportunity. So my question is related to there is a basically chip shortage overall globally. So are we getting affected due to that?
Yeah, this is Krishnan. Yeah, the chip shortage. That chip is different from the chips that we use.
No, I mean, I'm trying to the electronic chip shortage which is there. So
no.
I think it is might getting affected for the car manufacturer. So due to that, are we getting affected?
No. We have no impact because of that.
Okay, and our business is directly related to the new cars which is getting sold, or is it on?
It is both new cars and the existing car fleet which is already there.
It's actually when you decide to either put your paint protection or sun control depending on the user. So many of them do it first time, many of them do it after some time, after they realize that there is a problem to usage.
Okay, understood. And my second question is related to, I wanted to know about, is there any market in India for the PPF, or it is a developing market, and what can be the opportunity size in India specifically for PPF?
India is a developing market, as we mentioned, and we are the only manufacturer of this product in this country. So we have launched the product. As I explained to you, we have 22 dealers currently in the country who are selling our product, and it is growing. So we are developing the market. We are also training the tinters in different markets in India as well. And we have a plan for training all of them on a quarterly basis. And we have a team of experts who do the training for the tinters. So we are introducing the product, and slowly the product is catching up.
Okay, but any opportunity size which you can explain if possible in India for the PPF?
It's very difficult since we are just developing the market. It is very difficult to say what will be the eventual size. See, currently, any customer who buys a BMW, Mercedes, or any of those premium cars, which are about 40,000-50,000 cars which are sold today in the market, they are all potential customers. In addition, any car purchaser or beyond 15 lakhs is also a potential for us. That adds another 4 to 5 lakh cars to the kitty. So effectively, you have somewhere about 6 to 7 lakh customers or 60,000-70,000 cars every month, which have a potential to buy. And so that is the opportunity. Not all of them buy, but that is the potential that we are chasing.
Understood. And are we selling any product in Indian market for the PPF, or just we have started?
No, we are already selling. Our product is available, and it has had a good. It's pretty attractive. As I said, all these dealers have been selling that product through their outlets.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. And
just to add one small thing, even the media is going to be reviewing this product very soon. So you will find a lot of coverage in the media as well, because they will be reviewing the PPF product in the auto magazine. So building in a consumer profile and a base for it.
Sure. And my last question is related to our sun control film, as it is currently banned in India. So is there any alternative product which is available, which is transparent and maybe approved by maybe Supreme Court or any other authority? So is there any alternative product so we can have some, like we can capture that market within India? Is there anything available?
The Supreme Court has banned the putting any kind of films or sticking any kind of films on the auto window glasses. So that is not allowed.
So even transparent films are also not allowed?
Yes, transparent is also not allowed. Only glass during manufacturing is allowed. Actually, the Central Motor Vehicle rules are amended from 1st of April 2021, and they have, including the standard 2553, which is mentioned in the rule, is also amended, and that amendment has done after a lot of study of the practices followed internationally for safety glass. So whereby the film or on the glass, if it is used during the time of manufacture, then it is allowed. But in the secondary market, it is not allowed. So in India, it is still the ban is still there, and that is not allowed. But they have put a mention in the standard that if it is used during the manufacture of the car, then it can be allowed.
Okay. And for solar control films in commercial use and say for architectural films, so is there any alternative product instead of film? Are the consumer using the tinted glass itself instead of applying a film? So is that an alternative product? If you can help me with.
Tinted glass is allowed of the 50 and 70%, 50% VLT for the side window glasses and 70% for the front and rear side. That is allowed.
Okay. My question was related to commercial, like where we are selling our films commercially for commercial buildings and residential. So I'm asking, like, is there alternative product for our films, which are the glass might be itself tinted. So instead of applying a film, can consumer use the tinted glass? The question for the solar.
Consumer can use the tinted glass, toughened glass, but this film provides a safety and UV filtration, which is not available in the glass. So also nowadays, because of this mobile tower radiation, which is also harmful, which is also absorbed by the film to a great extent. So these are certain additional advantages for using the film on the flat glass application.
If I may just add, safety implies that if there is any kind of an impact on the glass, it will, because of the film, it does not crack in and hit the persons inside, and it's largely adherent to the film. That is the meaning of safety over here, just to clarify.
Okay, yeah, understood. If I can ask the last question, if possible.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. So my question is related to the similar. What is the market in India and globally about the architectural films, like, and how we have penetrated till now, and what might be the opportunity size in future, especially for the architectural films. And I think I have read related to agricultural related films. So what exactly are the agricultural films? Like, what is the use? If you can help me with that.
Agricultural films there are several types of films used in agriculture. One is for mulching, which is used on a large scale, but those films are LDP, HDP, LLDP, those kind of films, which are puncture proof, because there is a polyester, kind of polyester cannot be used for this application because it is having low PR strength. So strength in elongation etc. is good, but PR strength is low, so polyester cannot be used. Then there is a greenhouses or polyhouses. For that application also HDP, LDP films are used. So these films are not used for that application for agriculture. For building application.
Yeah. Sorry, please go ahead.
Yes, please.
I was just saying that GHFL is not into those films, just to clarify.
Yes, we are not into that because that is business handled by the small manufacturers, because it requires a blown film plant and it's a very small investment, small type of it is mostly the SSI, small scale industries are there. They manufacture that type of films.
Understand. Anything related to architectural films, if you can?
Yeah, there is a tremendous market for architectural film. After our capacity, new capacity is available, we will certainly, penetrate into architectural segment. As of now, we have no capacities and concentrating on the automobile space, so we are, concentrating on that. But certainly, after the capacity increase, then we will concentrate there also.
Thank you very much, and congratulations for the good set of numbers. Thank you.
Thank you. The next Deep, please go ahead.
Sir, just a couple of quick questions. Is the container shortage or disproportionate rise in the freight has affected our sales anyway?
Yes, that is affecting us also.
Achha.
Certainly that is affecting.
Otherwise numbers would have been much better.
Yes, certainly.
And the second, as you mentioned in your opening remarks, that NSE listing will be done after the cooling period of 2 months. So that means after this, our shares is taken out from the T2T and ASM, and then after 2 months will be cooling period.
Yes, correct.
So formalities are all completed from our end.
Yeah, we are ready with the formalities and all, but we are waiting once surveillance is over in other market, then only we'll start the process.
Okay. It's a new SEBI regulation actually, so we have to comply naturally.
Okay. Okay, great, sir. Thanks.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Neeraj. Please go ahead.
Sir, can you please tell what is the cost per car for PPF films in India maybe?
What is that?
Yeah, how much per film per cars for PPF?
It depends on the car. As you're aware, the size of the car, whether it is a hatchback, whether it is a sedan, whether it is a super saloon from Mercedes. If you're talking of, say, a Mercedes-Benz, the usual price that they charge is the full car is about 120,000 rupees or so in terms of the full car. But parts of the car, as I said, only select parts of the car at about 50,000 rupees is what they charge.
Okay. Fine. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question. I would now like to hand the conference over to Mr. Pathak for his closing comments.
Yeah, before I conclude on this, I would like to share one more area that the Garhware Hi-Tech Films assume the social responsibility, and as advised by the Honorable Chairman, we approached to the local government at Aurangabad with an intention to help in the COVID pandemic, and they have advised us to put a facility for the COVID care, expecting that the third wave may affect the children. So we have put a full-fledged hospital having 125 beds, and further can be extended to 150, which is all oxygen bed with all modern amenities, also with the ambulance available, tie-up with the hospitals, and good quality of doctors and staff with excellent 5-star food from 5-star kitchen. So that all facility we have made ready and ready for handing over. We have made a video which we will upload on the website in few days because that is going to be handed over to the government next month, beginning next month. So this is just for information. Thank you all for participating in the earnings call. I hope we have been able to answer to your queries satisfactorily. If you have any further questions or would like to know more about the company, please reach out to our investment relations agency, Blue Lotus Communications. We are thankful to all our investors who stood by us, and also thank you for your continued confidence in the company's growth. Going forward with this, I wish everyone a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, members of the management. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Garhware Hi-Tech Films Limited, that concludes this conference call. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.